Okay, our next speaker, there she is, Aliya Grig, who is CEO of evolwe, and she's going to talk about empathy in AI. Aliya, take it away, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Stuart, and thank you for having me today. It's a great honor for me to speak at this conference. So let me share my screen and present you. Yeah, just a second. Here my presentation. So can you see my screen? Yeah, I hope it works. Let me know if you can see it, right? Okay, you can see it, right?
Well, now it says you're in process of sharing.
Okay,
Now we
and
see
like
it.
this?
Now we see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'll share with you today
Turn your
our
face on. We
research.
can't see your face. We can't. There we go.
Ah,
Thank you. Just need
okay.
PowerPoint and your face. We got you now. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry, I'm from my iPod. Sometimes it's a confusion. So today I'll share some of our research activities for the last 6 years. We've been working on both sides of computer science and neuroscience and studies of cognitive psychology. So let me share first briefly my background. So I have 15 years background launching tech companies and tech projects. My personal background came from the intersection between astrophysics, neuroscience, and cognitive psychology, and classical, I would say, economics and management. I launched previously three my space tech companies and sold them successfully, and previously also worked with NASA to create the first habitation on Mars. So I would say that this approach of multidisciplinary work at the different areas helped me to build and start to do the research about artificial consciousness and application of AI technologies to research consciousness and creating further new direction, new ideas. So previously, what I mentioned that there are three key areas in the life which was of interest for me through all my life. It's space, human consciousness, and artificial intelligence. Well, rather than AGI. And let me spread here more. So I would say that an AGI tool for me, it's or artificial consciousness, I prefer to call it in this way. It's a key tool in order to investigate more about our I would say nature and nature of our universe. And my personal mission and core interest is to create the technology which will be much more advanced than current generative models, for example, like ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence tools, but will really have a consciousness. And what does it mean to me and what does it mean to our team? So right now, we are a team of 35 people of ML engineers, NLP engineers, cognitive scientists, cognitive psychologists, linguists, and also specialists in computer science, of course, and even physics. And we study the nature of consciousness from different angles and trying to program it. Because for us, we try to view consciousness from different, I would say, perspectives in order to create this new and I would say area for architecture for artificial consciousness, which will be much more, I would say, adaptive and smart than current AI technologies. And I'll share more in my presentation today. So why I call it artificial consciousness and an AGI and why it's important. So, in the opinion of our research team, one of the key elements of human nature and human consciousness is empathy, because like right now, for example, like different research specialists in computer science, they study a lot like our AI tools and logic. So, what is logic about? So, and how AI can be created through logical decisions and like a decision tree making or just a simple ML models, but there is not much angle about studying of human feelings, human nature, and human, I would say, traits, and specifically like empathy and emotions, in terms of like how they can bring, I would say, new angle to what is human nature about, and as a result, what is human consciousness about. So I would say that integrating artificial empathy into AI systems can provide insights about underlying empathy in humans being. So that's why we conducted a research for the last 4 years on over 5,000 people, and we continue this research and integrated this knowledge to our AI model about artificial empathy. So we started to study human emotions, first of all, and human feelings and human traits. So we use different tools in order to understand what is human emotions about and human traits. And we started to analyze, and our first research was about studying texts which are written like in the format of chat messaging. And we started to understand how a person can express his emotions and his traits through the chat format and through text, because it's quite easy to understand each other emotions, for example, through voice or through our face expression. But it's much more complicated to understand our emotions through our text. And I do believe that text is one of our core, I would say, core aspects of human beings, and this what makes us a huge distinction between, I would say, other animals or like other forms of life. So that's why we started to focus specifically on text, on its linguistic aspects, and on understanding emotions underlying in human text. We used a variety of tools like psychometric, psycholinguistics approaches, and created our own model, which can detect humans' emotional state, human psychological state, his traits, and even predict his behavior based on the way he texts and he constructs sentences and constructs, I would say, text. So right now we need like roughly 10 to 15 sentences in order to understand like each user's profile, and how it helps us to build an artificial consciousness and our AI system. Because through this, we train our own AI system to understand a variety of human beings and a variety of users, because each of us is totally different. Each of us has totally different psychological traits, psychological uniqueness, and emotions. And it's key and it's crucial to understand for AI this all, I would say, aspects and possibility of a range of different emotions, traits, and try to predict what will be next in terms of like psychological change of this human being, because it influences a lot our own subjective experiences, our awareness, and as a result, it provides, I would say, a new angle to AI, how it can be trained to provide empathy, feelings, and so on. And why empathy is such an importance? So first of all, it provides us an opportunity to relation between empathy and subjective awareness. Then it helps to explore the role of emotions in consciousness. And of course, it provides the overall role. And we showed it again in our models and in our trained data sets, how it can influence decision-making and moral reasoning. And I believe that it's one of the key aspects of training artificial consciousness, and as a result, to understand more about us as the human beings and our nature. And what we managed to achieve. So first of all, we trained AI in order to mimic humans' empathy and to recognize, and we proved it through one of our latest studies. We plan to publish it in September, October this year, about influence of emotions to decision making, and how AI model not can only generate empathy, but can really show the levels, I would say, sparks of both intelligence, empathy, and the consciousness. And this brought us also to theoretical framework, which we are currently working on, and we plan to show the first, I would say, prototype later this year, I would say in November, about architecture of artificial consciousness and artificial empathy, and how it can enable us to create a new level of architecture for AI system, which will be conscious. Second angle, which our team is currently working on, it's embodiment. And we use embodiment as a key tool and as a key, I would say, another key aspect of training and creating an artificial consciousness. Because I would say the main skills that we as a humans have, and it showed in the variety of research, for example, like by Stanislas Dehaene, is that kids and we are as an adults, we learn a lot from environments. And for example, like we can learn a lot from like just seeing like other people and the objects and train through this and learn through this. And we created our own virtual environment where we use virtual agents to train from different, I would say, virtual situations. And for me, embodiment, and so first of all, we are working in virtual formats, but later this year, we plan to start to building our physical robot to learn from physical environments. And this is another crucial aspect to creating an artificial consciousness in order to create an agent and sensors which can perceive the environment. So these both aspects of sensors and embodiment are key for us to create this embodiment and artificial consciousness. And of course, it can, through embodiment, our virtual agents right now, they can already mimic human behaviors. And we already showed the small prototype of how an agent can learn from the environment and adapt his behavior. And it's interesting because it shows the first, again, like levels of why embodiment is important in order to understand the nature of consciousness and to train an artificial consciousness. So currently our team uses a multidisciplinary approach, and we use like both knowledge from psychology, neuroscience, cognitive psychology, philosophy, and specifically, I would say a huge stress, I would say in my presentation, I want to focus on mechanism of psychology, empathy, and embodiment, because since we are talking about revolution and the neuroscience needs a revolution to understand consciousness, I would say it's crucial to understand more about psychological aspects, about embodiment, and about how all this can be combined in artificial consciousness. And I do believe that while we will build an AGI or an artificial consciousness, we can understand more and more about nature of consciousness, not vice versa. So, because I know that there are some scientists which believe that we need to understand consciousness first and then to train AI. So our approach, it's why I also don't like to call it an AGI, that we combine like these different knowledge and sections. And for me, AGI is just like another much more intelligent machine, but artificial consciousness can provide, I would say, bring new light to a level of understanding of human nature, of our own feelings, and how they play a crucial role in our behavior, in our mental actions, in our cognition. And through this, we can create a much more smarter, I would say, agents, robots, and tools which can help to solve complex tasks, can help to reveal secrets of universe, secrets of our consciousness, and so on. And this is, for example, the slide. It's our AI companion, which we created. It's our charity project. It's totally for free. And we incorporated there already our system with artificial empathy and understanding of human nature. And we continue to spread this product right now as a part of the charity and as a tool which can help more and more people around the world to understand better themselves. And I would say the core angle for our team and for our company is to use also this technology in social robots, because again, like through providing artificial empathy and understanding humans' emotions and provide much more empathetic communication and interactions, robots can better understand human beings and as a result adapt to themselves and better understand human nature. And I would say through this we can create much more smarter and helpful tools for our society, which can help to improve our planet. So some of the other applications, of course, it's a healthcare, education, and customer services, and of course, mental health supports and virtual assistants. So currently, we continue to work in our team with robotics application and create a physical robot. We are studying right now. Also, we have a part of our research is studying of the nature of Sanskrit language, because Sanskrit can also, in my opinion, provide a new life to understanding of human consciousness and structure of different language and modalities and their influence on our brain and as a result in our consciousness. And currently we also create our own multimodal systems which combine together sensory inputs like speech, facial expressions, psychological, physiological data, for example, like Deepak mentioned also in his presentation about even like genetic code and information, which can provide more light about understanding human behavior, and as a result provide an overall picture of us as a human being and train AI to understand this and to learn based on this data. So of course, like our approach, we totally use like privacy, and it's crucial in order to develop, I would say, technology which can help the society and can help to make our world a better place. So thank you so much for having me today, and it was a pleasure to share my knowledge and our, I would say, research.
Thank you, Leah. I think we have time for a question or two. Patrick.
Hi, my name is Patrick Palucki. Thank you for your talk and for the very important approach to make AI better and safer for humans. I would like to know, there's this research by Tanya Singer who's looked deeply into empathy and compassion and the differences between the two, and showed that empathy is the mirroring and the experience of the emotions of others, while compassion is empathy plus the motivation to help others. And empathy alone can lead to empathic distress and burnout in humans. And it's necessary to shift to compassion to keep on helping others and maintaining the energy. So I was wondering if you have looked into this, and or what do you think about compassion in AI?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for the question. So first of all, that's why we created, I briefly mentioned our AI companion, and I mentioned about social robots, because I believe that compassion, it's a crucial factor in our modern world in order to help people to, with, I would say, overload of social media information and so on, and in order to understand themselves better. And I fully respect, for example, all the research and parts of combination between psychological methods, coaching methods, which showed already that how much compassion is important in order to both to improve like education, for example, healthcare, because through compassion, like we can mirror these emotions and I would say show another person that how it can be another way. And that's why we train our AI to be compassionate, first of all. So yeah, it's a crucial part, I would say, for our research and for our product.
Okay, over here, Daniel.
Very nice. What you're talking about is theory of mind, although you didn't use the term. And this is affective theory of mind, empathy. What about non-affective or cognitive theory of mind? Where are we at with what you're doing in that area as a parallel to the affective theory of mind?
Just to clarify, it's about like specifically cognitive theory of mind or affective theory of mind?
By affective theory of mind, I mean theory of mind is perceiving taking the perspective of others. Affective theory of mind is taking the perspective of another person's feelings and emotions, which is empathy. Definition of empathy is understanding other people's feelings and emotions. But then other people have non-cognitive, non-affective perspectives, such as I have a perspective that something is that something is true or something is not true, or something is located in a place where other people may not. It's basically a cognitive perspective, which is the classical theory of mind paradigms. False beliefs, for example. So the idea, humans can detect whether can detect the perspective of another person. So if I believe that it's the Sally Ann type thing, where somebody puts something in a place and then moves it, the other person doesn't know that it's moved, but you do. So when you're asked, where does the other person think the object is, they think it's where it originally was, but you know it was moved. But in order to answer that question, you have to take the perspective of the other person. So it's the parallel to the empathy.
Thank you so much for the question. So for sure, like it's, I didn't mention like theory of mind, but of course we use it in our research and studies. And that's one of the points how we train the model initially, because we use this approach and theory of mind specifically in order to understand other users' desires, beliefs, wishes, and actions. And through this to train an AI, because AI, I would say AI or artificial consciousness for us, it's just a kid or just a child, which can learn from others' perspectives and other, I would say, inputs. And again, reflects what other beliefs says and train through this data. So of course, like we use and we currently try to model this through an architecture, this approach. And I think it's one of the key elements again. So, and I think it's actually it's much more simpler than you're saying. That's why I put so much stress in my presentation only on empathy and feelings aspect and embodiment, because through these three tools, it's, I would say, maybe a high-level aspect of theory of mind, but it's crucial for training a new types of models.
Okay, we got to wrap it up. Sorry. Aliya, thank you very much. It was great. It's good to see you, and congratulations on your work, and hope to see you again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stuart. Thank you. Bye, everyone.